never really put away her guitar since she was a big music fanatic. And so, me being me at the time, I was just learning how to play the guitar and how to just play up other instruments and sing and whatnot. And so he just kind of lets me open up the guitar and just kind of start tuning it. But I can tell that he just gets really, really dead silent when I just start just plucking it here and there. And I ask him, is it okay if I play it? And he just kind of, nods yes. And so, I just do a couple little riffs from songs by Angus and Julia Stone, the Lumineers, just little things. And I just stop, and I can see just kind of trying to hold in tears, and that was just kind of my once in a lifetime experience, and how not only music can affect people, just the connection that it can create between two people, just like him and his mom when she used to play for him when he was young. And I just felt so, I want to use the right word here, privileged or honored that he let me play his mom's guitar for him, and to help him bring that sweet memory for him of his mom. And I can see that it just kind of relieved him to really see that old dusty guitar to be used again. And I think after that day, he told me that he wanted to try and learn how to play guitar. And I thought that was just really wonderful, just for him to try and learn that and just kind of reconnect with his roots and kind of pay a homage to his mother. And so I have to say that was my great one-in-a-lifetime experience for a friend.
Guys, keep it going for Gerry. Ooh. He's trying to bring the emotions, the second storyteller. I don't know about that. I like it. Thank you for sharing. I think that's wonderful, and I think it can be hard, I think, to remember the good things like that, but having people and friends and family share in that memory and being able to create that space is really wonderful. So, A+ friendship right there. All right, guys, our next storyteller is another regular. Put your hands together for Andrea. You got to let her out first, though, because she's in the way back. Guys, keep it going. You got to clap the whole time. Come on.
All right. So I've referenced this experience in the past. A few years ago, went on this, just a little recap, went on a really cool road trip with my best friend. We went all up and down the West Coast for a month, just the two of us. It was a lot of fun. And we had many once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, the whole trip being one of them. But one of my favorite experiences was the time that we were in Eugene, Oregon. So if you've never been to Eugene, imagine Tempe, but colder and more trees. That's basically what it is. It's really cool. It's a great little town, totally like a college town because the University of Oregon is there. And so if anyone's a big sports fan, the Ducks, yada yada, that's what they're known for. And when I was there, one of the stories I told, I think one of the first stories I ever told, was about how we met this stranger at a pizza place, and she let us stay at her house in Eugene. And while we were there, she had been taking us around and showing us all the cool places in Eugene and introducing us to her friends. Well, I think it was our last night there, she had to work. So we dropped her off at work, and when we were driving there, I was I kind of want to I want to do something, what's something that we should do that we haven't done yet that we need to do before we leave? And she was well, you guys need to go and explore the University of Oregon. It's open campus. You can just roam around. And it's there are some kids there, students there for the summer months. And we were all right, cool. So we got all we kind of looked cute. We wanted to go out on the town and blah, blah, blah. Cause we were going to go to Portland the next day, which is a 3-hour drive. So we get all dressed up, and not like prom style or anything, but we look cute. I don't wear makeup, but I put on a little makeup. And I don't know, we were just like feeling ourselves and whatever. We were 20, so we weren't old enough to go to any bars or anything. So we just decided to, stick to this like general area. So we go to the university and we're roaming around. And if you've never been, it's beautiful. There are all these old, like rustic looking buildings. It's just an absolutely gorgeous campus. Like so many trees and so much greenery, and the track there. I'm like a track nerd. I did track in high school. Ooh, that track is sexy. Ugh. So anyway, and we didn't know like how much we were allowed to do. There were like some unlocked doors, so we were just like going in and checking out these like empty classrooms, and I don't know, it was really cool. Well, while we were there, we were kind of like getting bored, because there's only so much walking around you can do before you're like, okay, like I gotta have something to do here. And we noticed this very large group of very fancily dressed people. I'm talking like they had like blazers and like some ties and whatever else. Like these people looked like they meant business. And they were just on campus. And so Jill's like, do you want to follow them? And I was like, yeah, let's see like where they're going. Like why are they walking around the University of Oregon at like 6 p.m.? So we start following them, and we get up to this auditorium. It's actually a very famous auditorium, the one at the University of Oregon. I don't know what it's called, but do you guys know what I'm talking about? So I don't know. They're big on basketball. I don't know sports things, guys. Anyway, so we go up to this auditorium, and there's like security and everything. And I'm like, I'm not a rebellious person at all. I'm not like a risk taker. I'm very much like a safe person. So I'm like, what the fuck, Jill? Like, shit, what do we do? And she's like, just act natural. Act like you belong. I'm like, all right. So we just walk in, and the security person's like, hello. And we're like, hey. And we're just like, keep walking. And we walk in, and like half this is a huge auditorium. And like half of it is like filled, right? And like all of these people, it's a weird scene. And like down on the floor on the basketball court, I can tell they're getting ready for some kind of like tournament of some sort. So we start like prying. We're like, hey, like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, we're getting ready for that dodgeball tournament. And we were like, is it too late to sign up? And they were like, no. So I went down. My friend Jill was wearing like a skirt, and she was like, but I'll take videos of you. I was like, okay. So I went, and there were like, if you've ever done like a dodgeball tournament, if you don't have a team, you can like sign up to be like, to get into groups of people who don't already have teams. Like they'll just kind of like randomize you together. And so I ended up in this like random team, and we got to like talking, and I met some really cool people. Like there was this one woman from China. She was like an international student, and she was there, and she was like, yeah, blah, 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 the conference today. And I was like, what conference are you talking about? She was like, oh, the conference earlier today, the one that we were all at for international students and international teachers and like blah, blah, blah. She was going on. And I was like, yeah, we just like walked in here. Like, I don't know, like we didn't know anything. And she was like, it costs like $500 to get into this event. And we were like, and she was like, don't worry, I won't rat you out. And I was like, thank God. But anyway, I got to play dodgeball with like people from all over the world. That was really cool. And then we lost. We lost like the first round or whatever. But like it was so random. Like these people that were like wearing suits, once the tournament got started, they were putting on like these cow costumes and like all kind. I don't know. It just turned into like a weird like cosplay thing. Maybe I don't know what was happening. It was really entertaining though, and they had all kinds of funny names. And it was great. And I was just like in a really nice shirt and makeup and like was wearing nice stuff. And I was trying to like run around in like heels, and it was great. And then afterwards, we got free beer. And again, we were 20, so that was like the coolest thing. And I, again, not a rebellious person, so I was like, what if they ID us? Oh my God, I'm so nervous. And Jill's like, girl, like all of these people look old as hell. They're not gonna, we look like we belong, like you're okay. They're not IDing anyone else. And I was like, all right. So I just go up and I'm like, and I order whatever they have. It's some kind of like hipster Oregon brew on tap that they have. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take a glass of that. And they're just like, okay, yeah. And so I get 2 free beers and like a free pretzel, and we're just sitting here looking at all of these people who are like 100 times better than us because they have like fucking PhDs and whatever else, and they paid a lot of money to be at this conference, and I just got to kind of like play dodgeball with them and mooch off the free beer that they got. And it was great. I feel like no one else has ever had that kind of opportunity. So for me, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime thing I got to experience. And it was a lot of fun. So thank you.
One more time for Andrea, please. The one thing I wish the people at home, if you will, who just listen to the podcast and don't come out to the show or don't get an opportunity to come out to the show, what's lost in translation is how animated Andrea is when she tells a story. She does a lot with her voice, but like the faces she makes when she's talking from another person's perspective is just phenomenal. Please help me welcome one of the members of the Chatter crew, somebody who is an amazing storyteller. I don't know if you knew this or not, but he's also an amazing poet here in Phoenix and is sitting right over here. Please give a round of applause for Gerry.
And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. I can't believe we made it 4 storytellers deep and nobody referenced the Talking Heads yet. So I don't often do storytelling, but when I do it awkwardly. And I just had a relationship come to an end, a 4-year relationship with somebody that I thought this was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, right? And so all that's occurring to me are the things that I thought would be once-in-a-lifetime things that turn out not so much, like getting married or, I don't know, other stuff. And, but to not dwell on that, almost all of my great once-in-a-lifetime things happen to have to do with music. And mostly with people that only I'm impressed with because I listen to music for people who are usually older than me. For instance, I was walking down the Mill Avenue Bridge on the correct side of the street for walking with traffic. And I see this group of people coming towards us. This is actually with not my ex-wife, the relationship after that. And I'm like, what the hell is this? They're like taking up the entire sidewalk. I'm just going to walk straight through them and kind of push them off the sidewalk. And as we get closer to this party of people, I notice that it is Neil Finn and his family. Neil Finn is from Crowded House and Split Ends, if anybody knows who they are. And that's usually the kind of story I have to tell. There's an even better story than that. I do play a little bit of guitar. I would not call myself a professional musician by any means, but you can hear my handiwork on all of the Hoot and Waddle podcasts. So I do play a little bit. And I was at a concert. A guy named Glenn Tilbrook, who is one half of the songwriting partnership for my favorite band, Squeeze. And he was playing this tiny venue. I think it was Last Exit Live. And he does stuff during his shows, like if solo shows, not Squeeze shows, but during solo shows, he'll do things like invite audience members up onto the stage to sing, or he'll like walk out into the crowd. And one time I saw a show of his where it was at the relocated Nita's Hideaway just before it closed down, and it was a bill that had Jill Sobule and John Doe from X and Glenn Tilbrook, so that was kind of a once in a lifetime gig as well. But he had audience members take 2 chairs, and then he would stand on one and then move to the other one and you would move the chairs around the room, and he created his own like revolving stage. So stuff like that. And on this particular occasion, I've seen him many